The Montage Laguna Beach is one of the top resorts on the West Coast. Lush views of the Pacific, drinks delivered by the pool, and nighttime cocktail parties, watching the sun slip into the sea. The single room rate here can top $1,000 a night. On Maryland's eastern shore, the Inn at Perry Cabin ain't so bad either. Summer sails on the bay, posh golf down the street, and a twilight cocktail party with some of your good friends. On the days we visited, the center of attention at these lush resorts is a politician holding a fundraiser. Want a hobnob overlooking the Pacific with California Congressman Duncan Hunter? That's him in the sunglasses. The suggested contribution, $2,500. Want a party and golf with Maryland Senator Ben Cardin? That's him arriving in the pink shirt. The suggested contribution, $5,000. And as we found out from our undercover cameras at the cocktail parties and golf outings, there's no shortage of lobbyists willing to pay for the chance to weekend with a lawmaker.
It's basically corrupt, and it is legalized corruption.
Former Colorado Senator Tim Wirth says he's disgusted with the way lawmakers continually come up with clever ways of extracting money from anyone who wants to buy Washington access. When rules changed and lobbyists could no longer take politicians on trips, politicians and their fundraisers designed a brand new scheme, organize the trips, and invite the lobbyists along to pay for it. We found that out last winter, Snowbird Resort, Utah, where Senator Mike Lee invited lobbyists to join him for a weekend on the slopes. The cost? Pay your own way, pay your own hotel, and make that donate, a suggested $1,500 per person for a chance to ski, drink, and lunch with a caught-off-guard Senator Mike Lee.
Just want to ask you why they're so important. I mean, you're not the only guy that does these. Everybody does
I didn't really consent to an interview right now, I don't think.
Well, I'm just wondering if we could ask you a few questions about why you have these, in general, why you have these kind of weekends for these lobbyists.
Yeah. Politicians raise funds, and this is what we do.
Take, for instance, Congressman Duncan Hunter and his cozy cocktail party in Laguna Beach. It turns out luxurious weekends like this with lobbyists are nothing new for Duncan Hunter, who's been doing this ever since he first decided to run for his father's seat back in 2007. Expense reports filed with the Federal Election Commission show around 24 payments to hotels all over Southern California since his first election campaign. Congressman Hunter declined our request for an interview, but an aide sent an email saying the congressman holds events of all types in many different venues, and either people choose to support him or they don't. Simple as that. And by the way, the staffer also told us they got those hotel rooms for less than $500 a night, not $1,000. As for Senator Cardin in Maryland, who's not even up for election this year, he turned us down for an interview too. But his staffer emailed that the money raised went to other Democratic candidates and that Senator Cardin is actually a sponsor of campaign finance reform, presumably to put some sort of end to posh fundraising parties like this one.
Guess it's easy to talk the talk, but hard to walk the walk, Drew. I mean, they all do it. It doesn't. No one, they like to say others shouldn't do it, but no one ever says no.
Yeah, and why don't they? It's because, Aaron, they're essentially trapped in their party's own system, a system that requires money, whether you need it or not as a candidate. Look, Ben Cardin isn't up for election until 2018. He doesn't need the money, but he needs that money to feed into, in his case, the Democratic Party, which demands it of him. Republicans do the same thing. You want to pay for access, pay for power in Washington, you've got to keep that money flowing. Right after the election, Aaron, to show you how this never stops, right after the election, the weekend after the election, for about $3,000 and your expenses, you can spend the weekend with a very prominent senator at Disney World, if you so choose.